Hello.
It's Ritvik, right? Or Ritik?
Ritvik.
Ritvik Bhardwaj.
Okay.
So,
Quite different
I'm
name.
stopping the call. Please go ahead.
Ritik, there is some background noise. I'm not sure whether you are using mic or speaker.
I'm now using laptop audio only.
You are not properly. There's lots of uh,
1 minute. 1 minute.
noise and it's not clear. Basically, you are dropping
Okay, is it fine now? Hello.
a little bit better, but not clear.
Okay, so please wait for 2 minutes.
I can feel the echo as well in your voice. You are at home now, right?
Hello. 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 Yeah. Am I audible? Uh, so right now I am using headphones. Okay. 1 minute. So is my voice is okay now? Okay. So that means fine for fine. Hello. So my voice is and I have put on my camera also, right? So no issues for me. It should be fine for you. Is it fine for you? I have no problem. Uh, so my total experience is around 4 years 6 months. Oh, sorry, 4 year 8 months to 4 year 9 months as of now, and relevant. So in April or May, that will turn out to be total 5 years. And apart from that, my relevant experience is 2 years in cloud. Mhm. Yes. So starting for 4 to 6 months, that was the desktop support. After that, DBR project technical support. That was a US project, and after that, L1 support in HCL Technologies, and for 10 months I was in Cisnet Global Technologies. So two projects, one was SME and one was value support, and apart from that, IT internal operations, network operations basically. Support profile. So designing was done. Basically, I had designed on MS Visio, but I was not a part of end-to-end implementation. Uh, Only shell, no exposure in Python. Uh, so Docker, I have 2 years of experience. Kubernetes is around 1 to 1.5. So Kubernetes, I have an average experience. Docker is fine. Yes, yes. So if I talk about the Docker, so in my company is basically a software development company, right? So some of the projects are using containerization. So for that, first of all, create servers in using EC2 instances in AWS and all those related stuff. Install Docker and do the containerization. And apart from that, for the Docker file, have a discussion with our IT team and with the developers. And apart from that, the testing team is also involved. So DevOps, if I talk about, so both the development and operations team collaborate, and then those tasks are done. If I talk about the infrastructure part of the cloud, so our team is responsible for that. Apart from that, in IT internal operations, we have to basically manage firewalls and all those network related and server devices. And that so
Okay, so coming to the Docker part, let's say I have to containerize here.
hmm,
So how I will do that? What are the steps that I will do? Let's say I have to create one Docker image for
hmm,
my dev application.
hmm, hmm.
So how will
so
you plan?
so first of all, we will create the image. So we can pull the image from the Docker Hub or the container registry.
Basically, this is my question. How do we pull that image?
So we will pull the using Docker pull command. We will pull the image and apart.
Before pulling image, I have to create it, right?
Yes, we have to create.
How?
Uh, we have to create the image, and apart from that, we can do the use the Docker file. And apart, so first of all, and after that, we will use the Docker build command and to run it.
So what you will write in the Docker file?
So there are various arguments and the parameters. So we will start with the from command. So the from is first of all a mega directory, and write the name dot the name of the file should be Docker file. And after that, do vi and go into the editor, and then write all those yeah, command line parameters. So first of all, write from and image, and after that we can add or run, and after that we can use a CMD and all those whatever the commands are. And after that, come out of it. After that, build that image, and after that.
Now, when you are creating a Docker file,
Mhm.
when Docker, you are understand what are the Docker layers?
Yes. So Docker layers are the layered architecture of the Docker. So the benefit of that is if
Of the Docker.
no of the Docker image.
So how these image, how these layers are created? Like whatever the instruction we are writing, it will create a layer, or how they are created.
So if I talk about the layers, so whenever we are writing a Docker file, so that is automatically converted to the layered architecture. So the benefit of that is.
So let's say I have written five instructions,
Mm,
and that you are saying five arguments, right? Whatever they are given.
mm,
And then I have almost 10 to 20 lines in my Docker files,
mm,
the image supposed to create.
mm.
Okay. In that case, how the layers will be calculated? Let's say you have 20 lines in your Docker file.
Mm.
Then what will be the count of the layers in that image?
So that will depend upon the command. So suppose we have run the run command three times, so that will be counted as one.
If there are three and more, it will count it as one. Okay.
So the benefit of that is that if the each
So what are the commands that create the layer? Every command creates the layer, or there are two specific commands that only create the layer?
so as far as my knowledge is
Every instruction.
every instruction in creating a layer, because if there is any failure in between and if you want to make any changes, so we will start from there only. Hmm.
What are the Kubernetes basic architecture?
Kubernetes architecture means
What are the components? What are the basic
Okay. So one is scheduler, which the task of the scheduler is to schedule the jobs. One is the controller, that is basically the brain of the Kubernetes. One is daemon, which is used for the basically the engine. One is the etc, which stores all the configurations. One are pods, which are the set of the containers. So these are the architecture of the Kubernetes.
What are the pods?
The pods are the collection of the containers.
How many pods? How many containers? How many containers a pod can have?
So minimum one and maximum can be anything.
Anything. Thousands are those.
So because Kubernetes can scale up to thousands of containers, so
So Kubernetes scale the container or scale the pod?
scale the pod, because containers are not dependent. Means in Kubernetes, containers do not work independently. We have to create the pods and not the containers, unlike Docker. So to better the containers of one of the types should be put in the particular pod. So because
That
s-
means that Kubernetes cannot control the container directly.
yes, so that is why we use the Docker along with the Kubernetes, or we can also use the
No, that's the first simple question. I am saying Kubernetes introduced the concept of pod, right?
yes.
So what is the limitation? What were the reasons behind that logic that Kubernetes is not directly controlling the container? It is directly, just created some logical name. It is called pod to control the container. What
So
is the
the
limitation?
so the main reason is that Kubernetes. So there were some limitations with the Docker, like scaling problems were there with the Docker. So it could not handle the very large scale application. So Docker Swarm was introduced, but that too could not handle. So that is why we started Kubernetes. So it can. It is designed to be in the conjunction with the thousands of containers. So individually, to handle those containers can be at tedious task. So that is why the container was grouped and made into single unit, known as pod.
Okay, what is LVM in Linux?
LVM is a logical volume partition. So the physical disks are not flexible, and to make the flexible means if we want to increase that and the decrease, basically the logical flexibility, to create the logical flexibility in the volumes.
How many types of LVM supported by Red Hat?
That I don't remember.
What is IP table?
So IP tables are the firewall rules in the Linux. So whether to
Can
allow.
you say IP table and firewall real difference?
Yes, firewalls are based upon the ports, and if I talk about the IP tables, so that is specific to Linux. So we write the commands. So suppose I want to filter a traffic using a particular IP, and apart from that, there is a TCP.
That you can specify the IP tables.
Yes. So firewalls is a.
You can use IP table as well.
So firewalls is a generic term. Firewalls are two types. One is the hardware firewalls, which we use in the companies as a gateway, and there are some firewalls which are software based. So we will just install the OS in any server. So in our company, we had designed the pfSense firewall. Uh, in which we will add one more interface card. So one will act as a LAN, and will act as a RAM. Sorry, one will act as a wide area network port, and one will act as a
That is something different.
so that is the that is for the traditional networks, and another firewall is in our desktops. So if I talk about Windows environment, we have in control panel we have a firewall. So the real world example is that if we want to RDC, so we have to enable the port 3389, And if in Linux, if you want to filter the traffic, so for that we can also use IP tables using the command. So there are very long commands in IP tables, and the commands are accept and drop. So these are the commands which are used in IP tables. And if we want to further allow any traffic, so that should be uh, the last command, as far as I remember, is
Even as far as the
okay.
the origin is ridiculous. The working that is Ansible or any orchestration. Which orchestration you are using? So are you AWS
So
or Salesforce?
not every client is using that
No,
uh,
I'm asking what orchestral tools that you know.
orchestration tools.
Have you heard about Ansible or Terraform or anything?
Yes. So Terraform, I have average knowledge, and Chef I had used 1 year back, and Ansible also you had used 3 to 4 months back. So Puppet and
Let's say I have to keep a loop for certain items and iterate over there. How you will do in the Ansible?
so for that we will use the, yeah, looping mechanism is available, but right
What is that exactly?
right now, sir, I don't remember. Sorry.
Okay, okay, okay. So,
So
what is the roles? What is the purpose of the role setting in Ansible?
roles are basically to give that restricted. Uh, uh, so actually, I had used Chef and Ansible around month back. So I will have to go through that.
When we run a command in shell script
Mhm.
and I have to verify the exit code, how you will do that code for the script?
Exit code.
You completed your script and at the end of the day you have to check your exit file. How you will do this?
So in shell script, basically we write dot and slash. Uh,
Dot and slash.
no, exit code I have not.
What is exit code? What do you understand by exit code?
So I haven't heard this term before, but exit code itself sounds that where a code.
When you are creating a Jenkins pipeline where you are defining the activities, right?
Yes.
How you will ensure that the next step will be run only when the previous activity is finished?
When the trigger is.
What the logic? What the logic you will use?
So in Jenkins, if that when the events are triggered, so we can use the poll SCM, and apart from that, we can use the cron expression. So the event is triggered, then only the pipeline is comes.
So how you will decide? What will be on what value that decide whether you have to start the next step or not?
So whenever a developer pushes a code in the CI/CD pipeline, so that will be, and at that time only the event will be triggered.
Yeah, that you have a hook for that, right? So whenever you are pushing a code into the any branch or any GitHub repository, it will trigger the job, whatever the job you have defined. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now that job has 7 stages.
Mm-hmm.
Now due to that code change, you are on the third stage.
Mm-hmm.
Now how the next stage will understand that the previous stage is only successfully and I have to start the next.
So for that, so the logic behind that is we create the various stages in Jenkins. So if the previous stage has failed, so by default the next stage does not go.
So how you will come to know the
So in Jenkins.
logic of the what the logic there and what is the value that you are at the previous stage.
So in Jenkins, what we do is whenever an event is failing, so we have the failure message and so we check the logs and what are the errors are, and then fix that. So logic, I don't.
Okay. this is